What are the different types of taxes someone can encounter? And what type of tax is the federal income tax?
All right. Yeah. So this came in on a comment on our channel. So we did manage to get a graphic for this, and it's kind of interesting actually. There's progressive, regressive, and proportional tax. Right. Those are the three main categories. So a federal tax rate would be progressive, which just means the more you make,
The more you pay.
the not just the more you pay, because even if you had this, if you so for example, if I was at 15% and I made 100,000, I'm going to pay what 15,000. If
Yeah.
I'm at 200,000 of income, I'm going to pay 30,000. But what happens is I actually jump up to say 20%.
Yeah. So you have
I'm making these numbers up, but
a
yeah,
larger percentage.
yeah, it's a larger percentage. It's not. It's going to be a larger dollar even if it's the same percentage as you make more. But then it's a larger percentage also. That's very progressive. And so, the more you make, so what's the top bracket now? 37% on the Fed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the more you make, the more your money goes. Now, it is tiered, right? So you only pay, what 10% at this level, and 12% on this money, and then 22% on this money, et cetera. I'm making these brackets up. I think they're close, but that's what progressive is. You pay more, and the percentage goes up the more you make. Now, regressive tax, right, is just the opposite. You actually end up with less and less tax being paid as a percentage of your income. The one example that we thought of before the show was Social Security taxation.
Yeah. So FICA taxes always cap out at a certain income amount, and so once you start exceeding that income amount, that percentage goes down and down.
Yeah, so for example, if the cap is 140,000 and one person makes 40,000 and another person makes 100,000, they're both paying the same percent. That doesn't change. But let's say somebody makes 500,000. They stopped paying on Social Security at 140. I forgot what the cap is, but it's somewhere at 180 something in that neighborhood. And so as a percentage, because you're no longer paying, your percentage of your total income is dropping down. All right, so your capped is what you can pay. There's been a lot of talk about upping that cap, getting rid of that cap, these type of things in order to kind of, fund Social Security. But that's a good example of a regressive tax. Then a proportional tax, otherwise known as a flat tax, really. I know there was a proposal by Steve Forbes in one of the election cycles. I think he was running for president, of having a 15% tax. And it was kind of famous because he was talking about, hey, you'd just be able to file your tax return on a postcard. There's no write-offs, no nothing. You'd write down your income and your 15%. But some of the examples are,
You got sales tax, so like everyone pays the same sales tax or sales taxes if you're in the same area, I guess.
yeah. So I guess we're at what 8 3/4 or something. I've lost track of where our sales tax is. So what that means is no matter what you make, or no matter how much you spend in this particular case, you're still paying the same tax. This 8 3/4. They have a VAT tax, value added tax in Europe, right? Kind of a national sales tax and whatnot. So that would be an example of proportional tax. They all have their place, I suppose, but it's good. It's a good question to kind of understand how it works. And our federal tax system and our state tax system here are both progressive tax systems.
It could be different per your state. Some states may have a flat tax or
Yeah.
a proportional tax.
Actually, I don't know if I've seen a flat tax one, but really close because the brackets are so wide. Almost everybody's in, one area. And so, or no tax, right? Nevada, Texas, what have you, have no state tax. They generally will tax in other areas, property taxes or high sales tax or something along those lines. But that's a good question.